Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB, and this is GP2. The penultimate round, round 13 here at Silverstone. Before we do anything else, though, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship standings. Because Mike Bundy is in P1 by 48 points, and Peter Solheim is in P2. Though drama, Peter Solheim is not here tonight, so all Mike Bundy has to do is finish in anywhere in the top 8, and he will be champion. Electrodan is in P3 and Gold Colours is in P4. James Braden is in P5 and Ollie is in P6. Lionel is in P7. Thomas is in P8. Smelly Badger is in P9 and T. Jonas is in P10. The reigning champion, not having a brilliant season in McLaren. Outside of the top 10, Scented Crumpets is in P11, Honey Badger is in P12, and Photio is in P13. Ryan Cut is in P14, Brett is in P15, Twan is in P16 after returning for a long race absence. Z-Trexter is in P17, Rocking Kid is in P18, Virus is in P19, and Leon is in P20. So, let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship, because, if I quickly get it up, it can still be won tonight. It can be won tonight by the Toro Rosso pair. If they got a 1-2 tonight and the Mercedes did not score at all, they would win the championship. But Mercedes are in P2 ahead of Williams in P3. McLaren is in P4, Renault is in P5, Haas is in P6, Red Bull is in P7, Alfa Romeo is in P8, Racing Point is in P9, and Ferrari is in P10. But as normal, I'm not on my own tonight. Tonight, I have a new commentator with me. I brought him all the way over from Greece. He's quite new to SFR, but he's a good friend of mine. Nikos, how are you doing, my friend? And welcome to commentary.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the introduction. I'm doing fine. What about yourself?
I'm doing absolutely brilliant. You only joined 2 races ago. You only joined us in Spa. But you already said to me that you're really enjoying being in SpeedForce Racing. Are you excited to see how both championships are going to come up to?
I don't know. It remains to be seen. I'm not really good at making predictions generally.
Nor am I, though they've made it easy for you tonight. It looks like we've been given the command to already head off over my back's okay. Yes, I pulled my back earlier, actually. So my back's a little bit sore, but I'm feeling a little bit better. So I won't be carrying commentary tonight because I've got Nikos, my friend next to me, to help me on. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. As I said, you're new to SFR, so not many of our drivers know you.
Yes, I'm fairly new to SFR. Joined in Belgium, was my first race. I'm Nikos, I'm from Greece. I'm 16 years old. I enjoy racing games. I've been playing F1 for 3 years, and it's my first league racing experience, and I'm quite satisfied, I have to admit.
Well, they're always abusing me, as always. But it's fun to have you here. It's great to have another young commentator. I actually started commentary when I was 17, so about your age. Oh, God, no. Yes. Actually, I started when I was 15, I think. It might have been 15 or 16, one of the two. But still, so we're about the same age range. I won't say how old I am because I'm getting old now. But Silverstone, how did you find this track? Though you had a bit of a tough race last night in GP3. Yes, Nikos races in GP3. How did you find this track in qualifying?
It was very nice, although generally it's not one of my favorite tracks. I find it quite slippery, and I generally like more stable tracks. But it was alright, pretty nice.
I like this track.
And I generally think it was nice, and I wish my race was longer, but there was an incident in the first lap that got me out. And then it's that.
Yeah, she was no deeming that was a racing incident, unfortunately. But, it's very overcast here, so we could see a wet to dry session here in qualifying. So, drivers we have in tonight, let's just run through who we have in tonight. We have Electro Dan, Thomas, Honey Badger, James Braden, Sweezy reserving for the Alfa Romeo team, Twan, Virus in the Williams, Brett, Ollie. So the Renault in P9 right now, we call him Ollie, even though his name's Owen because he wants to be called Ollie, just letting Nikos know. Z-Trexter in the Ferrari, if you need to just call him Z3, because that is a very long name.
True.
Scented Crumpets, Ryan Cut, Smelly Badger, Lionel, Rocking Kid, T. Jonas, the defending champion, God Colours, Mike Bundy, GA, and Samu. They have joined us as we see a Racing Point rolling out the track. It looks to be Crumpets. It is a Crumpet. Nothing insult. The number 69 car rolling onto track. It's a wet race!
It's wet on dry tires. Should be fun.
Ooh, definitely going to be fun. So, obviously, all these drivers, knowing now it's going to be a wet race, they'll be looking at, as we get the camera panning onto the racing point, we'll be looking at running a wet setup here, which is actually very similar to a dry setup last time I checked, Nikos. I mean, you're a more experienced driver than I am, as I have been retired for X number of seasons now.
Yeah, they're pretty similar, but there are a few tweaks that can really change the whole, especially in a track this slippery, they can really change your whole pace.
I tell you now,
on either of the occasions.
All the people that I've had arguments with on this game have normally said Silverstone's too flat. It doesn't have any elevation changes. I tell you now, when you're running after a Porsche 911 that's pulled off on the track, you find hills. Let's say that. So yes, Santa Crumpets coming to some of the. Won't be surprised if you see us going slower. Quality lap times, yeah, we will never be surprised. We'll see what Santa Crumpets can get to though in the racing point. We're caught in a lap one collision. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Sorry, trying to completely abandon myself there because I suddenly started thinking about coffee, which I unknowingly have next to me, as I always do. Safety Crumpets were caught in a lap one collision last week with a Haas. Who's the other Haas? It might have been, I don't think it was Thomas, I think it was, might have been Brett. I think it was Brett, yeah. Got caught in a lap one collision. So, we'll see what Safety Crumpets can get up to here at Silverstone. Turn 1 here, very, very quick corner with DRS assistance now added in 2018, running up towards the loop. He's invalidated the lap already. So Thomas will actually be our first driver across the line as he sets up a lap time, the number 4 Haas. Still running the blacked out helmet for Niki Lauda. So a couple of things to notion about GP2. This is our fastest division right now in SFR. We are still looking to open the Premier Division back open in Season 3. Oh, it looks like that is an invalidation from Thomas. No, he's still going for it. We are looking to open the Premier Division once more in Season 5 of SFR. So if you know any drivers are stonkingly quick, please send them our way, and we'll try and get them into SFR as soon as possible as we watch Thomas run down towards Brooklands. What do you think is the most difficult point of this track, Nikos?
For me, it's Makots and Bekots. I always seem to mess it up, especially when I'm running higher ballast than necessary. You can really easily lose the back end through the second corner of the corner set, and it's really tough for me. And I also find hard the corner before the chicane. I think that is the hardest because you've got to be very precise, and it's easy to invalidate for just running a little bit wide.
Centre Crumpets running out wide to let drivers through. T. Jonas now will give a nice toe to Thomas unknowingly as T. Jonas is on his outlap right now as he runs in front of Thomas. And into Stowe comes Thomas in the Haas. He will be our first driver crossing the line. Heading towards Vale now and towards Club. Braking just before the 50-metre board, about 65 metres. Snapping the car into Club. Getting it round the final corner. Very short run to the line now. DRS opening and he finishes obviously first. A 1:27.1. Here's Honey Badger in the Mercedes with the Niki Lauda helmet still on. I believe he's on a lap time. It looks to be on a lap time. Sweezy in the Alfa Romeo saying that he's running a dry setup tonight. As Honey Badger goes second, a 1:30.31.0. So that might be down to the dry setup. Now Sweezy saying that I'll allow that one, because it's not bad. Hello, Cadwell, how are you? I'll allow that one, Sweezy, because I like you. So, Sweezy, he's saying he's put a dry setup on. That's going to actually affect him come the race, isn't it? Nikos, yeah, sorry, yeah. I had to remember who you were.
Yeah, especially can affect also the strategy, because dry setups, dry and inter or wet have different tire wear and need different tire pressures, and that can really affect the strategy and the tire wear, which can be crucial around here at times.
Oh, very well, Caswell. Thank you for asking. And just to ask, we'll ask Nikos as well. Nikos, how are you from one of our viewers, Cadwell?
All good. What about yourself, mate?
I'm getting you to speak English. I love it. Well, English lingo. There we go. I believe is a term. My wet setup is is very good, says Sweezy as well. It's interesting to see different people take strategies. I'm wondering, as the currently a Haas 1-2. No, it's not. Mike Bundy taking the top spot right now provisionally with 12 minutes to go qualifying, a 1:27.0. If you look at, though, Honey Badger's time and James Braden's time, do you think that's down to setup, or do you think they're just taking a bit to practice at this track?
I think it's taking time to practice, because generally setups, the wet from the dry, it's 1 second difference, so I think it could be some mistake or taking time to practice.
Smelly Badger he finished on the podium last night in GP3, running a dual series once more. Smelly Badger, who's looking to be entering GP3 next season, hasn't really had the luck this season. He won. He's actually the defending winner of this track. He won in season 3 in a Renault team before moving to Red Bull. He doubts that he'll be getting on the podium tonight, but he'd love to be as well after his run he had last night in GP3. Lee now, his teammate, running in the Red Bull. Obviously, he's his teammate. Running now through Vale and into Club. I've not marshaled Club yet, and frankly, I don't want to, because if you crash at Club, it's a big crash. And also, you have to marshal then part of this pit straight if something massive happens. Lee Nell going up to 5th, though, in his first qualifying attempt always goes well at Silverstone. Tell you now, though, I mean, you're much more experienced than me. This pit lane really is long and slow, isn't it, Nikos?
Yeah, it is. And also the speed limit is hard to get, because you're coming out of the exit and you're at pretty high speed, and it's sometimes hard to brake and you can miss the point, because the point is very early in comparison to other pit lanes.
Electrodan looks to be running a special British helmet tonight with a red, white and blue colour scheme, showing off the fact that he's at his home Grand Prix. Lots of drivers here from their home Grand Prix, lots of teams here with a home Grand Prix in SFR. I do love this. I love doing, if you can't tell, this is to viewers as well, as we're looking at Ollie in the Renault. I like to roleplay doing commentary a lot. So if I say things that you would see, that you think, oh, that's not really what happens in the game, like we hope the drivers are alright, that's normally just me roleplaying a little bit more than I really should. I get too into it. I really do. I'm a child. I'm like playtime. It's like, I get to be a commentator. Yay! The number 30 Renault. It's not Julian Palmer. It is Ollie. He's cycling through Luffield now. Here's Electro Dan just coming to the end of his lap time. Remember, the Toro Rossos, not the Electros. The Toro Rossos can win the Constructors' Championship tonight if both of them finish on top. Electro Dan putting his effort in there in P3. If both Toro Rossos finish 1-2 and the Mercedes do not score, we will see what happens with them, because they will win the championship. That's the word I'm looking for. Cynthia Crumpus, though, has jumped up to 3rd place, but still, Mike Bundy is P1 ahead of Thomas in P2, and Cynthia Crumpus now in P3.
It seems very close for now. From 1 to 5, it's only 2/10, so should be fun towards the end.
Does that imply to you that those drivers are all running similar strategies? Similar setups, even?
Probably. They probably are on similar setups, because the difference, they're very small, and setup can indicate that. Or if someone is like a bit faster than the others and he's running a wet setup, it can affect. And for example, if he's like 6/10 faster than the others and he's running a different setup, then that can be the reason why they're also bunched up.
Oh, excuse me that. The 89 car of gold colours coming through. The final corner now to start his lap time. Looking exciting to see what the Toro Rossos can do. God Colours was in the championship fight, has had a string of good results, but never a win, and a lot of pole positions, but not a win. Here's Samu reserving for what would be the championship contender, Peter Solheim. He goes up to 4th. Once again, to reiterate, if Mike Bundy finishes this race in anywhere from 8th and above, he will win the championship, the Drivers' Championship, with 1 race to go. And that will be interesting to see, because Mike Bundy had... who do you think will get pole tonight? We don't normally do predictions already, so I'm not good at it. We see a couple of drivers that haven't put in representative lap times yet. Thomas has just gone and smashed that, a 1:26.6. That's good. I think it'll be between Thomas or Mike Bundy tonight. I know you're new to SFR, Nikos, but any idea, any guesses on who you want to put on top of pole?
I think it will either be Thomas or Bundy. They seem the two that have the most pace, but we never know because the others are like 2 tenths behind. So they're 2 tenths behind Bundy, so you never know how much can someone improve, especially with the track evolution and the grip levels going up.
God Colours now revving it up as he heads towards pit lane. We'll just show you where the limiter is. It's literally there. The 60 km an hour board, which is, it should be changed to a, as we see sector 2 and 3 yellow flags, it should be changed to a 37 mile an hour pit lane, because it's a international pit lane. They're going to do that. They're going to keep it at the kilometres an hour because everyone else uses kilometres apart from us and America. Actually, I think New Zealand use kilometres an hour. This is I'm sorry, Nikos. This is normally what happens to me. I just randomly spew out random knowledge that I know. But I think New Zealand run kilometres an hour, but drive on the left-hand side of the road like England does, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, I'm absolutely awful.
Brett is going very slowly through the grass.
Who's that? Brett.
Brett.
Oh, Brett.
The Haas.
Now, were you watching him? Did he lose the rear end?
I think he might have run out of fuel, because he seems to be going at a very slow speed.
He has run out of fuel, though if he has cut the track, then that will incur a qualifying ban. Rocking Kid jumping up to 4th, as we don't allow drivers to cut track during qualifying to get back to the pit lane quicker. No reason why, as Twan's jumped up and gone 2nd. So Twan looking to throw his hat into the ring of possibly on pole position tonight. Running down the hangar straight is Sweezy, who's running a dry setup, number 19 Alfa Romeo. Can't modify his setup due to Parc Fermé rules, which is, well, that's how it is. Very simple. See, I don't know, oh, you're a young boy, aren't you, Nikos? So you don't remember back in the day that the drivers used to have a qualifying setup and then a race setup as well.
No, I'm not watching Formula 1 for that many years. I started watching, I think it was 2010 or 2009, I'm not sure.
Mike Bundy going faster at 26.4. Hopefully Sweezy, we're going to stay on the ball with Sweezy for a second here. Hopefully he's just staying off the track to not get in the way of drivers. Another look at him. He does look to be beelining straight back to the track rather than going on the faster setup. When I say that, guys, I'm not accusing anyone of doing it. I normally just think aloud. Here's GA reserving in the Ferrari for Leon, I believe. Leroy, not Leon. That's an entirely different league. And he's the GP3 driver. A couple of GP3 drivers in here tonight, if you count Smelly Badger too. But James Braden normally one of the faster drivers in the series. He had a 4-race winning streak. It's currently done in P19. Now, is that a mistake, Nikos, or do you think that's down to his wet setup being so good as Ryan Cutt lags out of the session? He's in P4. In Sector 2, we have lost Centre Crumpet, so we'll see if we can find the driver in Sector 2. It doesn't look like we have. Honey Badger coming out of pit lane. Let's see if we can find any driver that's in Sector 2. That's outside of Sector 2. Any driver, please. Yay, you're heading towards Sector 2. That's a big accident there for Centre Crumpets. He's lost it and careered into the wall at the final corner before the old start-finish straight. So at the, can't remember what that's called. And I normally sit there. But at the edge of left field, he has crashed, and the racing point will be not able to continue on in qualifying. Spenny Badger just starting his lap time once more. 62 yellow flag as Ryan Cutt rejoins us in P4. Hopefully he can get back into his car to defend it. Yeah, Mike will instantly win Mike will win nonetheless. Even if he DNFs tonight, due to he's unable to be caught in the Drivers' Championship, as he is 48 points ahead of Peter Solheim. It does, Nikos, that does sort of take the little charge and the excitement out of what could have been a brilliant fight for the end of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. But on the other hand, sometimes when people aren't nervous about the championship being on the line, they can be more aggressive, and we can see some better overtakes, for example.
Most definitely. Last night we saw some great racing between the new championship leader in GP3, Blaz MK, and crikey, what's his name? Gordon Crimson. There we go. And they had a great race. Not amongst controversy as Brett jumps up to P13. It's so tight, this qualifying session, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honey Badger in the Mercedes coming through turns 1, 2, and 3. There's 3. Into the loop now, through farm. Then into village. I do like the new track layout. You're probably not old enough to remember. Actually, 2010, yeah, you will remember the old track layout, though it probably won't be as fresh in your memory as the new one is. For Silverstone.
Yeah, I remember that it was different, but I don't quite remember how exactly it was.
Very much the same as me,
But I remember
mate.
it was different. I remember Cops was the first corner.
Cops was a lovely first corner. As Brett, that's very good segue there. As Brett actually goes through Cops at the same time. I've marshaled Cops, so there's a blind right-hander. Completely forget where I am. You really, Brett gets it wrong coming onto Chapel. With Cops, you want to just pray that you keep it within the white lines. Sweezy, what's Sweezy saying? What are you FFing? Sweezy. That might be me just misreading, saying something earlier. James Bredon in the Williams. Saw a Williams win last night. Wouldn't it be great to see two British winners, two of the same team, winning in the same at a British track? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, it would be.
I'm glad you understood what I was going for there, because I don't even remember. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh my god, I'm terrible today. James Braden running down, as I said earlier before Suzuka on our little mixed-up calendar we have here, our shortened mixed-up calendar. He was on a 4-race winning streak. He could have had 5, but that was taken away by Mike Bundy as he did not race. He jumps up into P5, and that's it, as 20 seconds of qualifying remains. We'll try and work out who's going to be the last to cross the line. Lienel now opening up the taps on his Tag Heuer Red Bull. A little bit too much by the looks of it there at Chapel as he powers down the hanger straight. What can the still Renault-powered Red Bull get on with? Because I can't afford to buy the Honda upgrade yet for that car. Mike Bundy currently still sat in P1. He will not be challenged. He will not be challenging his chance. Electro Dan is in the way right now. Lienel, and that's it. Has he blocked him? He has blocked him. Lienel is out of qualifying here. Electro Dan unable to complete his, and that might have been his AI actually. Honey Badger currently P11. Nikos, what are you looking at?
Right now I'm on board with Thomas. He seems like the only one who can challenge Bundy.
Twan jumps up to P3, Brett into P4. Haas having a very strong showing tonight. What can Thomas get up to? Running down into Vale now, braking at the 65-metre board. Lock up on the outside left-hand tyre. Excuse me. It comes through towards the line now. What can he do? It's a stonking that time, and it's not quick enough. And Mike Bundy looks to be on pole position. Is it enough? Sweezy goes at the 4th place, so a good run for Sweezy. Samu, what can he do? Samu coming around the final corner now, trying to get all squared up in the McLaren. He goes P10. And knocked down to P11 by Rocking
goes
Kid.
P6.
Oh, it is gold colours, yes. Second 2, we have a yellow flag. Who is that? It's not Smelly Badger. He's running the final corner now. He's down in his time and he finishes in P20. The man who finishes 3rd last night in GP3 is 20th on the grid. But Mike Bundy, championship leader, is in P1. Honey Badger, okay, well, you'll have to record that and send that to the stewards, Daniel. So, here's our grid. By 5 thousandths of a second, or 55 thousandths of a second, Mike Bundy is in P1 ahead of Thomas in P2. Twan is in P3. Sweezy is in P4. Brett is in P5. Gold Colours is in P6. Ryan Cutt is in P7. Honey Badger is in P8. James Braden is in P9. Rockin' Kid is in P10. Outside of the top 10. Samu is in P11. Scented Crumpets is in P12. Ollie is in P13. Electro Dan is in P14. Z-Trex is in P15. Virus is in P16. Lienel is in P17, T. Jonas is in P18, GA is in P19, and Smelly Badger is in P20. Good luck, Sweezy. Obviously, he's running a dry setup. This is going to be a lot of fun. Though, here's the kicker. Can you imagine if it was wet, but hadn't been classified as a wet race, so they were still running dry tyres?
Yeah, that would have been very interesting for sure.
Well, I think. Oh, hold on. Mercedes and Ferrari have differing strategies, the same as Red Bull. The Ferrari have got the intermediates out, but the Mercedes and the Red Bulls have got the dries out.
It really doesn't seem like the weather is for dry.
No, it doesn't. It does look wet enough. It doesn't look wet enough, though, for the extreme wet tyres, the blue tyres. We have a helicopter hovering there, waiting to take us through this.
Yes, from my perspective, it seems like Inters are the best choice right now.
It does. If you look just above the wing, though, you can see a little bit of blue sky. So you might have some dry running in this race. So everyone's saying there's going to be a wet race.
Yeah,
I'm
we could
excited.
have some dry running in the long run of the race.
Last time I was at this track, it was wet, it was rainy, and it was cold. So onto the formation now. Mike Bundy leads us away with the intermediate tyres. It looks to be, yeah, everyone on intermediate tyres. And Mike Bundy running the black and gold helmet. Maybe that's him signifying next season he wants to be in the Rich Energy helmet. Rich Energy has the 95 car. It's not Lightning McQueen, it is a Mercedes. This track, see, the thing with this track though, the white line, because it's so wide, the actual track itself, you don't really see the white lines. So sometimes, at certain points of the track, you can forget where the edge of the track is when it's wet, can't you?
Yeah, it's true. The track is wide, and sometimes when you're trying to push it to the edge, you can't actually see where the line is. And especially on wet quality, that would be devastating, as you can invalidate laps without really realizing it.
Look at Brett. His rear end is all over the place here as he comes through Luffield trying to warm his tyres up. Or he's actually run out wide up onto the grass where Max Verstappen got it wrong in 2018. Whoa! And Sweezy hitting the barrier hard. Obviously no damage on his car yet because the damage is off on the formation lap. But the tyres will need a good clean off there. This is right, especially Maggots and Beckett's. It's going to be incredibly difficult with 20 drivers in these conditions, isn't it? In lap one.
Yeah, it can be very hard, especially in wet. It can cause a lot of chaos, but hopefully everyone will keep it clean. But it should be a fun race.
Virus has been disqualified from the session, same as Sunday Crumpets. Maybe as a coming together between the two drivers. Let's have a look at Lee now, and the defending champion, T. Jonas, Norwegian driver, looking to see what he can do from P18 on the grid. He ran no assists last night in GP3 and didn't have the best race, but nonetheless, he was able to have some fun. Mike Bundy is lining up onto the straight in a moment's time. Is he going to be, well, nonetheless, he'll be crowned champion tonight, but is he going to win the championship with a win? And what a way that would be for the British driver to win at home and to win the championship in the German team. Though based in Brackley, the Mercedes team. I think the engines are still built in England as well. Random fact about Mercedes.
I think so as well. At least that's what I've heard and read online.
Yeah, it's either that or Stuttgart.
Just because it's Mercedes, they say the home Grand Prix is in Germany.
Yeah, the brand is German, but the team is British. Yeah. I made a joke about it. I went to Mercedes. Oh, well, I'll tell you that story in a bit. Because we're heading towards 5 red lights now. Looking on board with Mike Bundy to the gantry. He's so close to that. This pit straight is about to come alive with the sound of V6 turbos. 4 red lights, 5 red lights. Lights are out, the drivers are away. Now it's a good start from Thomas in P2. No, it's a better start though from Mike Bundy as he sides across to try and defend it. It's a slow start from all as they come through. T. John's already dropping down the field and the Haas goes wide as they head into it. Mike Bundy has disappeared from view. Scented Crumpets looks to be round it and he's had a big mistake. It's not the first time we've seen a Racing Point make a mistake in there and there's a lot of damage as they head into the loop for the first time. Looking on board with Twan, he's getting pinned between the Williams. He sent the Williams off with James Braden who's dropping down the field. Lap 1 always treacherous here, and James Braden gets a good slap there from Ollie as they all tangle up, and Brett passing his teammate for P2, trying to at least. Nikos, what are you looking at?
And there's a Renault spun round. I think it's Ryan.
Ryan can't have a look at it. No, it's not. Together. Must have been a bit of lag. Oh, there is a Alfa Romeo who's getting bullied in these wet conditions. Virus dropping down the field. Scented Crumpets also struggling. Yellow flags are waving. Smelly Badger is in trouble. They're all having to, and Rocking Kid, Thomas retires from P2 in the grid. He's out in cops. Side by side into Maggis and Beckett to the wet. Z-Trexter being passed by Rocking Kid. And Z-Trexter going out wide. We've had one retirement on lap 1 already. That's Thomas. It's Sweezy. He's now struggling too. Same as Z-Trexter, who's dropping down the field. He's got damage on his nose. Oh, the red slipping for the Norwegian driver as he fights the car. James Braden now about to be passed by Electro Dan into Stowe for the first time. And Electro Dan chucks at the inside the number 4 car. Look at Lee Nell, he started as Brett gets a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding into pit lane. Lee Nell having to pit on lap 1, that's going to be frustrating for him. Brett leaving the session.
Many people pit on lap 1. It seems like there were a lot of contact.
Mike Bundy leads us away. Gold Colours in 2nd place. Brett has left the session. He's in P9 right now. If he chooses not to return, he may incur a further penalty from the stewards. And look at that. We've had, what, 13 drivers? We had a few drivers pit. Yeah, you're all right. G8's got it wrong at turn 1. And he's running wide. He re-entered the track behind Speddy Badger.
Someone has put on wets.
Oh! Has he been called to put on the... Whoa! Cars are struggling. Electro Dan going to the inside of Brooklands. Trying his hardest to get past Sweezy. Sweezy obviously on the dry setup. Everyone knows that. Due to I mentioned it on stream. Sweezy controlling the car. Trying to hold it around the outside. He's in the best position though. As they make contact on the front and rear tyres. So, if you can keep an eye on Samu for me, Nikos. And tell me if you think that the wets are the best option though. As Thomas leaves the session after crashing.
Okay.
You're very much, mate. Mike Bundy leads us away by 1 point.
He doesn't seem to be struggling a lot, so it seems like they're probably equal.
Electro Dan's rear end not enjoying itself as he comes through cops. There's James Braden, 3 tenths away from Samu. Brett dropping down, obviously he's a ghost right now. Keep an eye on as many battles as we can. James Braden now, he'll try and have the pace on Samu, who's on the alternate tyres, on the blue-walled wet tyres. Surely he isn't looking for a move into cops in turn on lap 2. As Samu goes wide, he doesn't have to, because Samu's losing momentum, and James Braden chucking it past him as they enter into Mags and Beckett's.
Electro Dan going past Sweezy in the final corner.
Very well picked out there. Just switched on them as you said that. Electro Dando, is he closing in on Twan in your opinion?
I think so. I think he's going to overtake. He seems to have a lot of pace.
Electro Dan in the Toro Rosso Honda looking to move. Looking to try and make a move. Take us through this, Nikos, if you can.
He's all over his gearbox. Let's see what's going to happen now. They're going to the straight. I don't think he's close enough for the move. Yeah, he's not close enough.
Drivers always have been warned to not. Drivers have been warned to not talk in chat while the race is going on. Hopefully, one of the admins can jump in and just tell the people not to discuss that. To a few drivers, I think Brett's not happy. Cedric Crumpet's dropping past T. Jonas now. Seems that the Haas team might not be entirely happy with something that's happened. Anywho,
yeah.
Now looking at God Colours, is he looking for his first win of the season? He's had so many pole positions, yet he has not been able to convert it to a win, and that's not entirely by his own fault. He's had a few botched up pit stops and all that, but God Colours chasing after the win tonight. He's 9 tenths away from Mike Bundy in P1.
I think Electro Dan is going for the move, I think. Yes, he's going for it.
Brilliant move there from Electro Dan. Is that a move you would have made yourself there? As Rocking Kid gets their 5 seconds off go penalty for exceeding track limits. And then T. Jonas has been passed by Cedric Crumpets as well. As T. Jonas now looking to the inside, but Twan actually... Ooh, something must have happened with Twan and Electro Dan because they got close together again. It looks like there's damage on the racing point. Yes, there is. Take us through this move there from Sweezy as he pulls up to the inside, Nikos.
Yeah. He's all over. He's looking. Oh, good move down the inside. Twango is losing positions. He probably has damage. Because he's losing a lot of positions and going very slowly.
After pitting, Honey Badger in P13 is now the fastest man on track. Here's Virus as you get closer to the backside of Brett. Though you can ignore that move because that is not even going to be a real overtake. Twan's not giving up though. He has a damaged front nose, but is he trying to wait it out for a different weather period, or is he gonna just have to pit at the end of his lap?
I think he's waiting for for when it dries out, because he doesn't seem to be giving in. And his damage doesn't seem so significant. He's not losing that much time.
T. Jonas with a
He's
full
still
front
able
wing,
to keep up.
looking to the back of Centre Crumpets. Gold colours though, he still has a chance of winning this Grand Prix on lap 4 out of 26. Anything happens, Centre Crumpets struggling as he can't get the car completely turned into Beckett's. And T. Jonas is going to pounce. The Norwegian driver is going to show why he is Drivers' Champion of Season 3 for Gp2. New champion will be crowned tonight. Well, I'm not going to say who it is. I think we all know who it is by the time I mentioned it all the time. But here we go. What can T. Jonas get up to? He's closer to the back of Centre Crumpets, but he doesn't try a dive bomb because you can see Twan ahead of him. He doesn't want to hit he doesn't want to pass one racing point and hit another. Mike Bundy struggling on the rear end grip.
Colors is all over the gearbox of Bundy.
We'll see what God Color's going to get up to. Is he going to have the momentum coming in here? He looks like he does. Take us through this, Nikos.
He's looking to overtake. He only slips him down the inside. He goes. Let's see if he's going to make it stick. No, Bundy managed to defend around the outside. Into Lapierre they go. And Bundy has managed to hold it up. Oh no, he's going down the inside again. On the straight before the old turn one. Is he gonna go for a move down the copse? Let's see. Yeah, he does. And he's through.
Mike Bundy now
Colors
on the attack.
is now leading the race.
Mike Bundy will have to evaluate what happened there, quickly fix it, and now attack God Colors as soon as he can. And that's, I mean, I don't think, well, you're incredibly fast, Nikos, but I can't remember if you've been in a situation where you've had to have that. Well, of course you've had that with every time. It doesn't matter if you're in first or if you're in 20th for that type of move. You have to quickly evaluate what happens. And does that knock your confidence a little bit as a driver?
It can affect, but generally, if you're calm, you can easily come back. But if, for example, it's a move where you feel you're pushed wide or something like that, it really affects you and it can hurt your race.
Ryan cut into pit lane. We're actually going to follow him into pit lane. Is that for a damaged front wing? It looks to be a damaged front wing from the angle we've got on the Renault. He pulls in. We're taking away from the racing just a little bit to see if he's going to put on wet tyres. Leaning forwards into my commentary booth. They are intermediate tyres. It looks to be a new front wing. But no, it's just a whole new set of intermediates by the looks of it. Z-Trexter now on the attack on Samu.
If there is not a front wing change, I think it's too early to pit.
That is an interesting statement there from Nikos, as Samu on the wet tyres has not got away from Z-Trexter. The Z-Trexter cannot just chuck it at the inside and past him. We must be close to the crossover point, as Samu actually struggles on the rear end. Tran get a time penalty as well, and Z-Trexter is through finally. But I wonder if as T. Jonas actually is fighting against Smelly Badger. Smelly Badger trying to come back against everyone else after having a dismal first lap and qualifying to show why he won this race last season as the racing points ahead of him start to battle.
Very good start from Smelly Badger, all the way up to 9th.
Only taking him 6 laps, showing why he's a match for Max Verstappen. Hashtag Red Bull hire him.
Yep.
Don't hashtag that, that's weird.
The two Force Indias are fighting into Mekots and Beckett's.
Fighting is the question. Look at Centre Crumpets. He's drifting his way through there as Lee now gets passed by James Braden. We'll catch up with that battle in a bit, because right now we have a 4-car battle for 7th place as they all charge down. T. Johnson looking to have a run on Smelly Badger. Smelly Badger looking to be very quick in a straight line. And Centre Crumpets still cannot pass his teammate. No team orders here. It's the last race of the season. There's contact, and he spun his teammate into the barrier and his teammate into the wall. Not the first time, and Twan actually does retire from the session. Was that himself retiring, or was that down to the car being damaged? Ryan cut down the inside. That's not the first time we've seen Racing Points come together, but I think it's the first time in SFR we've seen them come together. My old team, the team that brought me into SFR, having a terrible collision there between teammates.
As Colors has gone away from Bundy, I think Bundy might have made some mistake because the difference is now almost 2 seconds.
Smelly Badger and T. Jonas, are battling once more. T. Jonas tried to be inside up the loop, but it didn't happen. And now Smelly Badger has a little bit of breathing room as he starts to hunt down Scented Crumpets. I think the Racing Point battle will come up as a racing incident in the Stewards investigation. As Braden,
Yeah,
whoa,
me too.
Big oversteer moment for Ryan Cutt as he goes after James Braden now. Samu, is that a lag? Samu has lagged out of the session. Hopefully it's lag and hopefully he returns to us. T. Jonas getting closer. I think T. Jonas is quicker through the corners than Smelly Badger, but Smelly Badger is faster on the straights. Would you agree, Nikos?
Yeah, I think it's the setup. It's setup related, probably. It seems like Smelly Badger is getting away on the straight. It's true. While on corners, it seems like Jonas is so closer than on the straights.
So T. Jonas stuck right now as he can't pass Smelly Badger. Smelly Badger stuck because he can't speed up and pass Scented Crumpets. Bit of a train forming here as gaps are forming. Ollie on the podium. Our top three: Ollie in third place, Mike Bundy in P2, and God Colours in P1. Is this a day God Colours becomes a winner in SFR? Tell you what, Honey Badger's not hanging about, is he? Fastest lap, I think that's three laps in a row even.
He's the fastest man on track right now.
Here's Virus passing through the ghost of Samu. Going to ignore that because it was an overtake, but at the same time not a real overtake. And T. Jonas's rear end, he's going quicker, so maybe the track's starting to dry out a little bit. As now, actually, Smelly Badger is getting a run on Scented Crumpets. Scented Crumpets pulling to the outside. Smelly Badger thinking about a move down the inside. He's taking the alternate line. He's not really there, and Scented Crumpets staying ahead. Badger versus Crumpets. Food versus animal. What can happen here as he charges towards the old Turn 1 at Cops? Big rear end moment though for Scented Crumpets. So he's trying to defend from Smelly Badger. Smelly Badger is going to try and feed his way through. He's got to pounce sooner rather than later because if he makes a failed overtake move, T. Jonas is there to snatch up that move. Snatch up that position now. Smelly Badger looks to have made a little bit of a mistake though, coming into Magnuson Beckett, and T. Jonas is right on the back of him. Now T. Jonas is getting the better run. Finally, T. Jonas is getting the run that he wanted on the Red Bull. He cannot though pull past him. Honey Badger is looking to make it 3 wide, going to Stowe. Honey Badger down the middle, no! Just passing T. Jonas. There's contact there between the Mercedes and the McLaren. And now Honey Badger looking to make 2 moves in as many corners. No, it doesn't happen. No, he can't pass Smelly Badger. And he's going to be stuck behind a Britain for another lap longer unless he can make a move into the loop. Lap 9 out of 26 here in Britain.
As Ryan is going for a move on James down the chicane. No, he's not going to make it stick.
Honey Badger down the inside to battling Badgers now as they head towards the loop. Who's faster? Honey Badger's trying to get up and underneath the fellow small animal often found at Silverstone itself. Apart from rabbits. Here comes Honey Badger looking to try and go around the outside, trying to dummy out the Red Bull. He looks to have the speed on the Red Bull, and he does make the move stick. Smelly Badger giving way to his sweeter, different kind. Oh, Smelly Badger's not going to forgive me for that one. T. Jonas though.
Honey Badger, I think, could have been up there for the win if he didn't have the damage on the first lap. He seems to be the fastest man on track.
Honey Badger, yeah, he's definitely going to have a bit of fun. He doesn't like the wet weather though, so we'll see what happens. Remember, this is all about adrenaline here. Only 2 retirements, Twan and Thomas, though Brett and Samu will not be receiving any points if they make it there. So you might have, okay, so Twan saying that all 4 tyres were still on but damaged, Glitchy saying, I think that's more that you might have damaged the chassis of the car. So that's an actual thing you can do in the game. If you hit it hard enough, you can break the tub. Linnell, though, a move as Ryan Cutt makes a mistake in the middle of Magnuson Beckett's, and Linnell has made the move on the Renault. Moreno has compiled himself a little bit well, and now he's right on the back of the Red Bull.
Involved.
Yeah, take us through this.
And they're going side to side. No, Lee is up front, but he's gonna try to get an undercut.
Jake Braden!
Ryan
Jake
comes wide
Braden!
as there's a man wide. It's James.
Oh.
He's going wide.
Oh, he spun round. Ryan Cut spun round by Z-Trex and then corrected by
It's still
Z-Trex.
wide.
Whoa, bigger contact! And Ryan Cut, luckily getting away with that with all of his wheels still on the car. He's going to be frustrated. Z-Trex are very aggressive tonight. James Braden made a mistake at Stowe, and he's luckily still ahead of these guys after making the move. Honey Badger side by side with Centre Crumpets, his favourite overtaker spot in Brooklands, and he has trying to make a stick. He's going to be side by side coming into left field. He's going to hold it around the outside. Centre Crumpets with the better run though on the inside as he tries his hardest, and he hears no. He has been passed by the Dutch driver in front, and the Flying Dutchman to P7. All right,
as Rocking Kid is catching up to Ollie right now.
Yeah, Rocking Kid
still a bit behind, but it should be a fight if he keeps catching up.
We'll keep an eye on that battle as the race goes on. Lots of battles brewing here in Silverstone. Lee now under pressure from James Braden. Lee now last season was runner-up in season 3. Sorry, keep remembering what season we're on. And he lost the championship in the final race. With a couple of penalties affecting him, but he has not let that deter his spirit coming into season 4. He wasn't a contender this season, but he's enjoyed racing against these guys. James Braden charging towards the inside. Will he giant dive bomb it up the inside of Stowe? He decides not to. Linnell defending very well as they head towards Vale and then Club. Double look up there for Braden.
Kid is all over the gearbox of Ollie.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a second. James Braden. What can he do on the run down to turn 1? Doesn't look like he can do anything. So what's happening with Rockin' Kid and Ollie?
Yes.
I swear, if James Braden makes that move, I think he's going to. James Braden considering making a move actually on Lee now as drivers are starting to struggle, I think, on their tyres. The thing though with the intermediate tyres, they come in waves. They can be really poor for 2 or 3 laps, but then they can be absolutely brilliant again, can't they?
Yeah, it's true.
Rockin' Kid looking to make a move. Take us through this, Nikos.
Rocking Kid down the straight looking to make a move. He's in the slipstream. Is he close enough? He doesn't go for it. So off they go. They keep the same as they go through the chicane, going down to the chicane. Sorry, I don't know all the corner names.
That's all right. Smelly Badger, though. Linnell passing GA, who's struggling in his Ferrari, and James Braden still in front as he follows Lee through, passing GA, who's dropping positions down. Something's wrong with that Ferrari. I wonder if he's had a spin. Rockin' Kid, what's happening up here as T. Jones gets past Smelly Badger finally into Stowe? Honey Badger, again, the fastest man on track in P6. I wonder if Mercedes will be constructors champions tonight. I'm not sure, but both Toro Rossos are running.
Rocking
and Paul's defensive.
Go
on.
Rocking Kid trying to go around the inside, can't quite make it stick. I think he's gonna overtake sooner or later. He seems like he has more pace.
That's the thing, though. In these conditions, no DRS to help the drivers throughout the race. So you have to do it all on old school grunt that all the drivers should have, except for being able to play their little ERS and all.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to make a move? Oh, James Braden! James Braden has gone in sector 1! Let's have a look to see if we can find out where he is. It looks to be further behind. No, it's further ahead. He has retired himself. And that will incur a penalty. Obviously, the drivers have been told they are to retire in pit lane. That is a crucial rule in SFR, to retire in pit lane rather than on track. There are a few drivers in sector 1 and 2. It looks like Sweezy has made a mistake as well. Yeah, Sweezy is pointed the wrong way. At the end, James Braden leaving the session. There will be, I believe, the stewards might be having to hand out a few bans for qualifying next time round, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on what I'm saying, because right now we're still in the commentary booth and I haven't seen any of the footage before I can talk to the stewards in general.
Rocking Kid and Ollie seems to be the biggest battle right now.
Yes, they are the closest battle on track right now. Just take us through this, Nikos.
As they go down the straight, they go. After the corner now down the straight, they go. No DRS since it's wet, but I think he might be close enough. Let's see. He goes defense. Only goes defensive, but I think Rocking Kid might make it around the outside. No, can't quite make it stick. So he's gonna try again, but he's not close enough. It seems like they're on pretty similar pace. As Ryan gets a stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The pit lane is pretty hard to break, and it seems lots of people are getting it wrong.
Sweezy is saying that he's not driving, that was horrible. Well, did you, as long as you did it the right way, Sweezy, and you retired in pit lane, that's fine. You will not incur a penalty. Wow, okay, Sweezy. Rockin' Kid, yes, charging at the back of Ollie. A few drivers deciding that they aren't going to continue on with this race as it's too difficult for them. What can Rockin' Kid get up to? As God Colours pits now on lap 1. And actually, the top couple of drivers pitting in as well. Cedric Crumpets getting time penalty. Rockin' Kid pulling into pit as well. Mike Bundy back to being race leader here in Silverstone. It looks to be, though, that the rain's starting to clear up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like it. Bundy might be trying to keep the tires till we go to dry, but I don't think it's gonna be able to. We
shall see. Honey Badger, his teammate, still the fastest man on track to charge towards the next couple of laps. Lap 14 and 26.
Kid getting Rocking Kid getting a front wing change.
Oh, that's disappointing for the man who had to battle his way up to P4. So a chance in this race as T. Jonas gets on the back, comes out. Excuse me, Ollie. 1 minute. Let me just put my brain back in. Ollie came out of pit lane ahead of T. Jonas. Completely forgot how to speak there for a second. I just saw words in my head and they were just like, meh. What word does this make? But Honey Badger performing well. Electro Dan P2. I tell you what, if there was a collision and the Mercedes were fouled to be taken out, Toro Rosso would be in a great position right now in the race, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Right now, the Toro Rosso and the Mercedes are the two fastest cars, but the Mercedes seem to have the upper hand right now.
Virus running wide. It seems he must have made a mistake in the loop. I'll have a look at my little footage here. He made contact with Scented Crumpets actually in the loop. I had to look up my little replay camera, and it seems that I don't think that'll go to the stewards. But Sweezy arguably had enough with the Alfa Romeo team. Sweezy's still looking to make a full-time drive in SFRs. Electro Dan pits. Here's Virus. Take us through what's happening. Oh, Virus dropping down a lot further back. This race I still think that the track could dry out soon, and we could have a quick pit stop rush to get the dry tires on. That'd be a bit of fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Both Mercedes going very deep on their tires.
Honey Badger 1 lap, fresher tyres. We saw Honey Badger and Mike Bundy battling out in Spa. Well, they were teammates, so they were trying to communicate to each other without talking. But now Virus is under pressure. Virus actually pits now, and Spenny Badger will move back into the fray. Well, yeah, there's been a few little things, but I won't say anything until the stewards have made their decision. And to be honest, as Electro Dan gaining a 3-second time penalty coming out of pit lane.
It's easy to get penalties, especially on cold tires.
Definitely.
You can't quite control the car.
Oh, it's all right, Sweezy. I don't take assumptions of what drivers say in this chat and the YouTube chat, because normally it's out of a fit of stress or a lot of happiness. Mike Bundy pits. I tell you what though, Smelly Badger's pitted. He's pitted 2 laps earlier than T. Jonas, 1 lap earlier than Percentage Compass, and he's still behind them.
Yeah.
He's had a big rear end moment though as he heads towards the grass, and that will cost him a lot of time. Mike Bundy will come out, I think, just ahead of God Colours as Godcars comes into the loop, into the final couple of corners now. Mike Bundy drifting down pit lane. We'll see if we can find a picture of him. Where is Bundy? We're going to go footage on the pit crew right now. Bundy is going to be behind his teammate, but for how long? Here's Godcars even. Electro Dan. Oh, sorry, he has passed Mike Bundy. Mike Bundy's struggling. I think he's still trying to get up the hill before he does anything else. Where is he? He is up the hill and now back onto the live racetrack in third place. He's gonna have to battle hard if he wants to catch back up to God Colors.
Undercut working very good for Colors.
Now
the difference was 2 seconds, and it became 5. So the undercut working, it seems.
This is why I have a co-commentator. I don't look at the numbers, like the timings, and you do, which is very helpful, because I didn't know that until you did. I normally just look at the racing cars. So Lee now pulls into pit lane. I like looking at the pretty racing cars. You like looking at the long numbers. It's a pretty racing car. I like it. As I switch onto a McLaren, which definitely is a pretty racing car.
Yeah.
Still sipping my coffee. I've got it sat in a Guinness pint glass right now and just drinking out of a coffee. T. Jonas looking to pass Centre Crumpets sooner rather than later. Centre Crumpets defending hard this race, looking to finish in the points. Here's Rocking Kid looking to pass Electra down. The rain still coming down here in Silverstone. Lap 16 out of 26. 11 laps to go. GA being passed by Virus. GA struggling, I think, in these conditions. The Gp2 driver, they're commendable for still going on in these very, very tough conditions, but very, very British conditions, aren't they, Nikos?
Yeah, true. In British conditions, when you think of Britain, you think of rain, to be honest.
You definitely do. T. Jonas, though, getting a time penalty in P8. I tell you now, it's been raining like absolute fury recently in England.
Well, here it doesn't really rain that often, but it's raining today, so it fits the theme.
Oh, big catch for Rocking Kid there, as he is able to catch the car after a big oversteer moment in turn 1 and 2. And T. Jonas trying to get past Centre Crumpets sooner rather than later. Oh, round the outside into the final corner, and he has beaten him on the line towards turn 1. What a brilliant run there for T. Jonas. Centre Crumpets obviously dropping behind him. He's going to go side by side with him, though, trying to come back at the McLaren. Z-Trucks now is our fastest man on track versus Honey Badger, who's now in P1. He's still going strong, though. Maybe he can do this by pitching later on in the race, but the gap is coming down between him and God Colors.
Smelly Badger catching up to Scented and Jonas as well. Seems like it's a 3-way fight.
Centre Crumpets cutting very close to the apex there. Picking his line, cutting across Smelly Badger. He might be a little bit frustrated at that, is the Badger. Whoa! Big oversteer moment as well as Honey Badger retaliates to Z-Trex's lap time there. Centre Crumpets' rear end looking very unstable there as he had a big oversteer moment on the old start-finish straight. Smelly Badger had to check up by the looks of it, and he is going to have to slow down and regroup. Rocking Kid still within a second of Electro Dan. This is shaping up to be a wonderful race right now in SFR, isn't it?
Yep. Seems like a lot of battles going on, and the conditions offer another factor of the potential for human error.
Smelly Badger trying to go around the outside of Crumpets. The sweet treat is going to be in trouble because the battling Badger is getting closer and closer. And he couldn't make the move stick. He saw Smelly Badger pull out the throttle to get the car to fishtail its way through the water. Maybe that would make it faster. And the rain is near enough stopped though in the air. It's getting closer, and Centre Crumpets is blocking Smelly Badger. Nothing illegal by the looks of it. But Smelly Badger is going to get more and more frustrated as he battles on to try and pass the guys in front. Samu into pit lane now. Wonder what the McLaren is going to do. He did pit for the wet tyres early on in the Grand Prix. It looks to be now that the wet tyres were a little bit of a risk that he wasn't willing to take. Or sorry, that he couldn't take any further. That's the word I'm looking for. Nikos, what are you looking at? Ooh.
Right now I'm looking at the fight between Rocking Kid and Electrodan. Rocking Kid is all over his gearbox. I think he's gonna go for the move. Yes, he does, but he can't quite make it stick.
Rocking Kid.
No.
He's seesawing that steering wheel as he uses the rear wing more like a rudder than a wing. But the rain has actually stopped here in Silverstone as GA gets a time penalty. We could see a last 3-lap dash on the dry tyres. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it, Nikos?
Yeah, that would be very interesting, and it would certainly change up the things. Honey Badger seems to be waiting for the rain to stop as well.
Rocking Kid though, closer and closer to the back of Electrodan. I just suddenly turned into David Attenborough there. So, is he close enough though? We'll see what the Alfa Romeo can get up to. You don't think so, Nikos? Well, the McLaren GP3 driver doesn't think so, and he is correct at this point in time. And Electrodan running out wide as he slides back on to hit the apex. And Rocking Kid, his alternate line did not help him there. Maybe he got a little bit too close to Dan, just got to wash the dirty air. And couldn't get close. Lap 19 out of 26.
Yeah, dirty air can really affect. Like, for example, with steering cops, it really affected him, the dirty air, lost time.
I just realised with Rocking Kid, he's 73. If we look at Linnell, he's 72. And if we look at Smelly Badger, he's 71. So we have three consecutive numbers in the league right now. That's just a nice, interesting stat there. Completely useless, but you know, I'm more like Crofty or Ted Kravitz. Useless fact number 372. Cedric Roberts under pressure from Smelly Badger. What can he do? Cedric Roberts again, looking fast on the straights, much like Smelly Badger. I think they're still running the similar strategies, aren't they? Or similar setups, sorry.
Yeah.
I wonder if Badger's...
Generally, Silverstone doesn't have a lot of different setups, so it's easy.
Sorry, go on. Did you hear that? I was just saying wide because Smelly Badger went out very wide there. I need to control my mouth.
Silverstone, it's pretty much the same setup that is the fastest, so with very few tweaks. So it's inevitable that many people will have the same setup.
Cedric Roberts almost losing it in turn 2, just a little bit. Smelly Badger now has to just lift off a little bit in turn 1 so he didn't hit the back of the racing point. The last thing he needs is a racing pointing the other way. That is terrible. That's also about my Haas puns. But there isn't any Haas left in the race, so I don't Haas any. Oof, I'll see myself out. Smelly Badger finally looking to make a dive bomb here on lap 20. He decides not to continue to move as much as he probably could have. Right in the back by Centre Crumpets though.
Rocking Kid still not close enough to Electrodan, it seems.
It seems that they both have Rocking Kid's having the same problem as Smelly Badger is. He gets close, but then he can't get past due to the dirty air or something, or an attempted overtake, which isn't really happening, you know?
Yeah, that also is affected by the lack of DRS in the wet, because DRS is very helpful to overtake.
Centre Crumpets and Smelly Badger both receiving time penalties. Sorry to interrupt you there. As Centre Crumpets fished down his way through Magnus and Beckett's, Smelly Badger unfortunately followed him off the track, which is the worst possible thing to gain a time penalty from. And that's going to only fire up Smelly Badger even more. Whoa. It's almost like Centre Crumpets can't decide whether he's going to go to pit lane or not half the time. Hello, Cadwell. How are you doing? Yeah. Oh, well, that's about 6 seconds, I think, of this time in P5. That's going to drop him down to P6. There's a big gap, though, from P6 to P7. So he'll be all right to stay in top 6.
Also, Honey Badger is on the 19th lap on the inters. He's probably waiting for the track to dry, it seems.
It's getting drier, but there's no definitive dry line as of yet. You can almost see it. You can see a dry line forming. Sorry, but I don't think it's enough to warrant seeing the slick tyres as of yet. No real sunlight though to to give the track any hope of drying so far. I think we're going to see intermediates to the end of this race as Smelly Badger gets closer and closer, but Rocking Kid's even closer. Take us through this, Nikos.
Rocking Kid, he's not gonna go for the move. He backs off. Is he gonna try to get a better run to go to the chicane? No, he can't quite make it stick.
I got another one for you, mate. Go on to centre Crumpets and Smelly Badger now. They're going side by side. Oh.
Into Marco Tsembeko they go. Is he... He can't quite make it stick, but he's got the straight. Let's see now if he can get a good enough exit.
Smelly Badger had to defend last night, and now what can he do?
He tries to go down for the dive, but can't quite. Oh, and he runs wide.
Oh, rear end! Monsterful catch there from Smelly Badger. Having to shift the car down to catch the rear end, having to light it up to actually get the car straight in, pointing in a straight direction. As he gets closer, he's going to be so sick of seeing a Racing Point's rear end. He's not even going to play the 2019 game, isn't he?
Yeah.
But the Racing Point goes wide once more. And now he's going to have a chance. It's lap 22 out of 26. And he's still trying to chuck at the inside. And it might work here.
He's going down.
And he's there. He's still on the inside. Cedric Crumpets has to leave him room. And they run up towards the line. And Cedric Crumpets having a little bit of a bash there. But finally, Smelly Badger is through. But he's not done. He's coming back down the inside of Brooklands. Smelly Badger is in the best position now. He's just going to hold it round the outside towards Luffield. And Cedric Crumpets, there's no way. He has. Cedric Crumpets has made the move round the outside there. And Smelly Badger has hit the gravel. And that is his battle for 8th place over. Oh, he's dropped down out of the top 10. Smelly Badger struggling, I think, on those tyres that hit the gravel. It is drying. Yeah. I agree with you, Cadwell, but I don't think it's drying enough to see the dry tyres at the end of this race. 4 laps to go before the end of this Grand Prix.
Smelly Badger losing the back end into Marco Tsembeko. I think he just lost concentration and made a mistake. And that, due to the tyres being on the gravel, caused a lot of mistakes in a row.
I wonder if he's actually heated his tyres up as well. But it was enough to battle, and now Lee Nell has taken over the slack. Like the Red Bull just went, right, I'm going to tap out now. Take the, let's tag in my teammate. So my teammate's gone up to catch up. Lee Nell trying to get closer to Centre Crumpets now. And Z-Chester in the back end running very wide. No, I don't think we'll see dry tyres either, Cadwell. What do you think, Nikos?
Nah, I don't think we'll see dry tyres. I think it will stay wet. The track has dried out, but it's not enough for drive.
Could be interesting if they enable DRS though, with the slightly damp conditions. Because it's not really wet now; it's more greasy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not actually wet. It's somewhere between. I think not the Inters, but not the Slicks. Neither are a good tire right now. Both will struggle, but I think Inters are a little bit better.
Eyes forward as Rocking Kid gets the run on Electrodan. Electrodan moving around the live on the track. Doesn't know there's any form of blocking though. Rocking Kid closer than ever. Less than a tenth away from the Britain in front. Sector 1's yellow flags are waving. It's Centre Crumpets. It's battling hard through turns 1 and 2. No, they're not. They're battling towards Baggett and Beckett. They're side by side going in. Lee Nell, he's trying to hold it and he cannot hold it round the outside. He's going to keep attacking though. They're getting me fired up.
Move down the straight.
At this point, I think Rocking Kid is faster than Centre Crumpets. Centre Crumpets, actually, sorry, not Rocking Kid. Lee Nell chucks it on the inside. Centre Crumpets aggressively trying to defend as he tries to go back around the outside. They're closer than ever. And Lee Nell is still just a nose ahead. Now it's the braking zone into the apex. And Centre Crumpets providing brilliant racing here tonight. There goes the ghost of Samu. And Centre Crumpets is still in front. This is the battle for 8th place. That has 9th and 10th following on behind him. I'm running out of words. The Centre Crumpets and Neo fight hard. Lee's aggressive. Lee's off the track.
No.
Centre Crumpets off too. So Centre Crumpets lost it and he caused a severe collision by hitting Lee Nell. No damage on Lee Nell, on Lee Nell's car by the looks of it. But it looks like Centre Crumpets lost it on the outside at turn 1.
And he's got a stop and go penalty.
Yeah, well, he can't. There'll be no point serving that with that 24 out of 26. But he's going to be fuming with that because he lost the rear end and speared into the side of the Red Bull. But the Red Bull is fine to carry on, but looks like no damage on Liddell's car. You see what they do to us, mate. Cedric Crumpets with a time penalty. It looks like he's ran wide. It might have damage on the nose. We'll have a look. Doesn't look like there is.
Honey Badger is still first and seems like he will finish first. He's been on these tires for almost the entire race.
23 laps. He has stopped. I forget that. I was going to say, maybe he has to stop again. Virus getting closer. Penultimate lap of the race right now. Honey Badger has scored points on one occasion in SFR after returning to GP2. And that was last week in Spa where he got second place. Is this going to be a chance for him to win at Silverstone? Virus on the back of Ryan Cutt though for P13. For P12, sorry. Closer than ever. Now Virus in the Williams is going to pull to the outside and try and go round the outside of the Renault. It looks to be a move that will be ultimately done by the Williams very well. But no, the Renault fighting back and the Renault is still classed as ahead. No, he's not. He's now behind him. He's got to try and get him into the chicane, but it's not going to happen. Virus losing the rear end a little bit much as we're heading towards the final lap of the Grand Prix. Where's Honey Badger? Cedric Crumpets pitting, maybe the service penalty, or maybe the... Yeah, he's serving his penalty. He's going onto the dry tyre, so he just wants fastest lap at this point.
Yeah, seems like it.
So, heading on to the final lap now is Honey Badger sector 3's yellow flags are waving. Not sure who that was. I think it might have just been Cedric Crumpets, because he might have been in the pause menu or something. So, drivers fighting now. Honey Badger, Cedric Crumpets getting a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for leaving crossing the white line as he pits. As he spun round, it shows that this track is not ready for the dry tyres. It was a futile effort. As long as he doesn't get in the way of any of the leaders now, as he gets passed by GA, he's now at last place because Samu and Brett did not retire their cars, but they are out of the Grand Prix. Cedric Crumpets fighting the car now more than fighting other drivers. Rear end slipping. He's struggling everywhere as he heads towards the grass. This looks to be... Oh, he's made contact with someone. Who's he made contact with? It's a Renault. It's Owen. He has caused a major incident there. Cedric Crumpets could not control the car. And I think that's going to go straight to the stewards. That was... I mean, Nikos, what do you think about that incident? Or would you care not to comment? It's your choice.
I mean, it was a mistake going to the soft. The track clearly wasn't ready. And it really compromised all his race now. Because look at this. Electrodan is catching up to him. He has damage and can't control the car.
Owen is in a bad position. But I'm going to have to interrupt you because Honey Badger has to navigate 2 more corners now. Up and round the final corner. Honey Badger wins in Silverstone. He finishes in P1, but not only that, Godcolor's finishing in P2. And Mike Bundy, he's going to finish in P3. Ladies and gentlemen, your Season 4 GP2 champion finishes in P2 on penalties. Mike Bundy is the champion in Season 3. Season 4, sorry. Season 3 was T. Jonas. What a phenomenal race. What a brilliant race. And we know for a fact that Ollie is going to be absolutely fuming with the Racing Point. He finishes
due to penalties, he ended up P4, so...
Yeah, ultimately he finishes in front of the guy, but nonetheless, it doesn't take away that that Cedric Crumpets was a little bit silly doing that, making that move.
Yeah.
But our winner tonight is Honey Badger, and his teammate is now champion of the world in P2. What a brilliant race there, Nikos.
Yeah.
How was that race for you?
It was amazing. First time commentating, and it was a really good race. I really enjoyed it. Amazing for Honey Badger. I mean, he managed to do 25 laps around Silverstone on Inters, which means he did very good tire management. And great to have, and congratulations to Bounty for being the new champion.
Absolutely phenomenal race. There you see the top three. Gold Colours finishing in P3. Electrodyne's teammate, Mike Bundy, the champion in P2, and Honey Badger, only his second point scoring result of the season. Couldn't remember what my words were, and it's a win. So both of his point scorings right now, he has a 100% podium record. Phenomenal race here at Silverstone, but we're not done. Shall we have a word with him, Nikos, after we look at the results?
Yep.
So these are the results, barring any stewards' inquiries. Honey Badger finishing in P1 ahead of the champion Mike Bundy in P2. Gold Colours is in P3. Ollie is in P4. Electrodan is in P5, barring Ollie's collision. Rockin' Kid is in P6. T. Jonas is in P7. Linell is in P8. Z-Trickster is in P9. And Smelly Badger finishing in P10. Virus outside the points. Virus finishing in P11. Ryan Cup finishing in P12. G8 finishing in P13. Well done to the GP3 driver. Senti Crumpets finishing in P14. Drivers who did not make it to the flag. Samu, Brett, Sweezy, James Braden, Antoine, and Thomas did not make it to the flag. What a brilliant race.
Yep, it was an amazing race. And the rain added another dimension to it. It was really nice.
It definitely did. So let's have a chat with those drivers.
Sure.
Okay, well, before we do that, I've got to put something in the chat. I'm actually gonna bite my tongue quite heavily. Yeah, I'm saying you shouldn't have left. Oh, sorry, mate. Let's get these drivers into the commentary booth. Here we go. I'm gonna bite my tongue. I'm not gonna talk. Something was said. What are we looking for? We're looking for Gold Colours. Then we'll find Mike Bundy. Doesn't look like I can invite Gold Colours right now, so I have to do it the other way. Honey Badger already excited as he comes into the commentary booth with us. Whoa! Live on stream, Thomas. catching Honey Badger swearing is often what we hear from our favourite Dutchie.
I apologise.
Okay, Gold Colours. Alright, so it is a Mercedes only chat here in the Gold Colours couldn't join us. Well, look who just turned up. I don't need to ask, both of you guys will have their mics set to share. Mike Bundy?
Yes, mate.
Do you want to go first or second?
We'll let the race winner talk. I'll let the race winner go first.
We'll start with the race winner tonight. We'll switch it up because of certain things. Honey Badger, you've scored points twice in SFR in your last two races, and they've been second and now first. Next week you're going to finish in third.
I hope not. I think I can, or I hope at least I can get P1 again, P2 maybe.
Well, take it up to sorry, completely reading two messages at once. Just take us through that race. Take us through that race.
Well, I had damage on lap 1. I ran into the back of someone at turn 3, I believe it is. No one's fault, just me. But then I had like wing damage, so I had to come in, and then I was really thinking whether I would have to pit or not. And I decided to just risk it and stay out. Those tires were done, by the way, at the end. They were like, I think 90% or something, 86, I believe. So yeah, I was really trying to manage the gap to the Toros behind and manage my tires because I don't know, man. I really thought that I would have to pit again, but luckily I didn't have to. So yeah. And finally, a wet race. Oh, I was so excited for that. I'm sorry, I love the wet.
Oh, well, he's honorary British, everyone. So, Honey Badger, you started outside of the points as well in P11, so you genuinely had to fight through the field twice, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a bit of a chaos at the start, but after I made the pit stop, I was in quite a bit of clear air actually for the first 10 laps or so, so I could really push hard. Um, so yeah, it just worked out. I'm happy as well that we've got a 1-2 again, the Mercedes. So I don't know how we look for the constructors, but
Well,
should be good.
that's 2 weeks away, 2 weeks in a row. There was a 15-point gap coming into this race with Toro Rosso on top. So I might ask my favourite mathematician, who's in the party with us, to check the gaps. Have you managed to work that out quickly, Mike, or do you need some time to think of it?
Hold on, let me see.
Uh,
If you want, I can do the addings. Just give me the tables.
yeah, Nikos. We'll see what can happen. Completely forgot what my train of thought there for a second. I'm trying to poke Bundy to see if he'll do it for me. But so Honey Badger, I'm genuinely gonna eke this out to make Mike wait. But Honey Badger, with the mixed up grid, with the Winter calendar, have you enjoyed your small time you've had in SFR season 4?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's been good racing. So yeah, it has been fun, especially yeah, the wet race. I love it. So yeah, I had a good battle. So
One more to go though. Are you looking forward to Brazil next week?
don't know actually. I think it should be good. Yeah, I think it should be good. I don't know what my pace is like there, so I'll have to see. I'm excited anyway, so.
So Gold Colours thinks they're 8 points ahead. Thinks that Mercedes are now 8 points in the lead of the championship. Now that is done, Honey Badger, are you going to be, now that the drivers' championship is done? I won't say who won it. Are you going to be are you going to try and focus on winning the constructors' championship?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was the point all along. I mean, I didn't have a shot anymore at the drivers, so yeah, definitely.
Well,
Let's bring it out.
congratulations on your it is your first wet race win, isn't it?
So far, yeah.
Yeah, in SFR, or at least in a while in
Yeah.
SFR. So congratulations
I mean,
on winning.
I haven't had a wet race in a while, so.
Had to be my favourite track as well. All right, so we'll just move on. I guess we have to talk to him, don't we? Mike Bundy.
Hello.
You finished in P2 of that race. We're not going to talk about the other thing, but P2. How was that race for you? You were battling from start to finish with Gold Colours, and he was very quick, wasn't he?
I was battling more with my car, to be honest, trying to keep it on the circuit. It was so slippery. I didn't really know where I was going to stand in the wet because, I mean, I obviously put it on pole, and then I actually got a good start. I got a good start for once in the wet race, and then I didn't have the pace to keep up with God Colours, and then literally I think it was like 3 laps to go. My engineer said he's got a 6-second time penalty, so I was like, whack the ARS up, whack the rich fuel mixture up, and try and catch him back up again to get him within 6 seconds, and I just managed to do it. So I'm quite happy we got 1-2 as well.
Well, 1-2 now. By the looks of it, you're 8 tenths ahead in the championship, in the constructors' championship. Nonetheless, are you looking forward to the fight with the Toro Rossos going into next race, the next and final race in Brazil?
Yeah, I mean, if we've hit good form, Mercedes, right at the right time, to be honest. So it should be a good fight going into the last round. I don't know how. I just want to say, I don't know how Honey Badger managed to keep those tyres after we pitted on lap 1. Mine were dead after 15 laps.
Dutch
I don't know how I
greatness.
did it either.
I've just given you the answer, mate. Dutch greatness. That's what you say. Well, I guess we have to talk about the elephant in the room, don't we, Mike?
I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't want to. Do you want to leave it till next week?
Go for it.
No, we will mention it. Mike Bundy, this is the first time I'll be saying it to you personally. Mike Bundy, you are the Season 4 champion of SFR GP2. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good, to be honest. I didn't expect to be fighting for the title at the start of the season, especially with so many quick people here. It's just a shame that Pedal wasn't here tonight, so we could have a battle on track. But yeah, it was a good championship fight, and congrats to Pedal on a great season and everyone else on a great season.
Truly was. Now, the glowing questions everywhere will be asked is, will you be running number 1 of the car in Brazil?
Probably not, because I've not won the championship on career mode. So
that's punishment to those. So we won't be putting Hamilton then. But with this, Mike, are you just going to go into the next race and have some fun, or are you going to go in and treat it as if it was any normal race and you hadn't won the championship and you want to win the Constructor Championship?
The gloves are definitely going to be off a bit more, a little bit less pressure now.
So you're going to qualify last and fight through the field?
I didn't feel the pressure tonight, to be honest, because obviously I knew Pedal wasn't here. So that's why I was just like, right, let's bang the lap out, try and get as far up the grid as possible, and then just try and get as fast as I can in the race. And to be honest, a few of the moments in the race, I was literally thought I was going to spin. So I'm going to go hell for leather next race.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations, you are the champion. Any words about SFR season? Because you joined last season, I think with 4 races to go, or 3 races to
go. Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
I think you joined at Sochi, didn't you?
I joined at Monza last season.
I'm a little bit far up.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. So, and then obviously I had good battles last season, but I was out of the title fight, so it was all about this season for me.
So when are you going to go to see Jonas and ask for his crown?
Straight after the interview.
Well, we might as well let you get on with that then. Thank you, congratulations to both of you guys for joining us. We hope to see you have some fun in Brazil battling with the Toro Rossos for the constructors. All right then, Nikos, I can bring you back and you can have a chat with me.
Okay.
That race was phenomenal. Out of 10, what would you score it?
I would put it at 10 personally, because I had real fun, because it was my first time commentating, and the race, it had a lot of good battles. Personally, I would put it at 10.
So, would we see you again up here in the commentary booth, or is the appeal of racing too much?
I hope so. I hope to be in the commentary team. If there are spaces available, I would love to redo it. It was real fun.
Well, we'll definitely aim to have you up, though we do have to close out the season with my normal GP2 commentator, Alex, who will be seeing him again next week. But nonetheless, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, Nikos, and I really, really can't wait to do more commentary with you.
No problem. Glad to be here. It was real fun.
So, the championship in GP2 is over, but SFR is not done. We still have one more week before SFR Season 4 closes with our shortened mixed-up season. Make sure you join us for the final cracks at Brazil. We'll be seeing GP3 and the championship go down to the wire on Tuesday night at 7:30. And then on though the championship is over, we'll see what Mike Gundy can get up to in the wonderful circuit at Sao Paulo. My name is Gp2. Thank you so much for watching us, and we'll see you next week for the finale of Season 4. Have a very good night, and we'll see you later. Ta-ra, guys!